Maritime transport is essential to the proper operation of any country's economy and a vital part of a nation's transport infrastructure. Transport is to the Nigerian economy what the artery is to the blood circulation system of the body. Without maritime transport, Nigeria's economy would be stagnant, and as such, maritime transport is of significant importance as it influences the development and growth of the nation's economy. With the role the sector plays in economic development, it's imperative to champion its development by ensuring attention is given to infrastructure, training, research, and developmental policies. It's great to have you join us on today's edition of Maritime Update, where we bring to you every week activities in the maritime industry. I am Norma Obiaswalo. The role of a freight forwarder, also known as a non-vessel operating common carrier in the maritime industry, cannot be overemphasized. Their key job is to organize shipments for individuals or corporations to get goods from the manufacturer or producer to a market, customer, or final point of distribution. International freight forwarders have additional expertise in preparing and processing customs and other performing activities pertaining to international shipments. Nigerian freight forwarders must get the requisite training to enable them discharge their duties professionally. In this episode, we'll be focusing on the role freight forwarders play in international trade and the need for the training to enable them discharge their duties efficiently. First, let's look at the issues and developments that made news in the maritime industry. Stay with us. Captain Abel Oga says that the Maritime Security Agency bill will provide about 50,000 jobs for the Nigerian youths and eradicate piracy. The MPA boss, Hadiza Bala Uthman, charges members of the newly inaugurated pilotage boards to see the appointments as a call to serve the nation. The Nigerian Customs Service has said that the electronic auction it introduced last year has not been abandoned, blaming the judicial process for the delay. And now to the main stories. A Nigerian Navy training expert, Captain Abel Oga, has said that the Maritime Security Agency bill will provide about 50,000 jobs for the Nigerian youth and eradicate piracy. He said that despite opposition of the bill at the public hearing recently in Abuja, the bill still remains the only permanent solution to piracy in Nigeria. Oga argued that the Maritime Security Agency will create job opportunities and permanently engage pirates as a long-term measure, adding that the Niger Delta Amnesty Program established by the federal government was supposed to have a temporary measure towards removing the aggrieved boys from the creeks, but feels the program is no longer working. The benefit of this establishment is that the youth will be paid to provide maritime security, thereby making the maritime environment safe and secure for businesses to thrive in the Nigerian waters. The Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA), Hadiza Bala Uthman, has charged members of the newly inaugurated pilotage boards by the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, to see the appointments as a call to serve the nation in the national interest. The MPA boss employed appointees to use their high professional skills and knowledge to improve pilotage services in the nation's seaports within the areas of their jurisdictions, reiterating their functions and responsibilities as provided in the Port Act, which he said is crucial to the overall operation of the nation's seaports in ensuring navigational safety and protection of the marine environment. The pilotage boards inaugurated were those of Lagos, Warri, Port Harcourt, and Calabar. The Minister of Transportation, who was represented by the Director of Maritime Services, Alhaji Sana Galadanchi, said members of the board were carefully selected on the basis of their professional qualifications and requisite experience in the nation's maritime industry, adding that their functions include the establishment of entry requirement for obtaining certificate or license in order to perform pilotage services, enforcement and maintenance of developed standards and specifications. Captain Adewale Ishola, who responded on behalf of other members, pledged their determination to live up to expectations. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has said that the electronic auction it introduced last year has not been abandoned. Joseph Atta, the National Public Relations Officer of the service, blamed the judicial process for the delay in auctioning it on the platform. He further explained that until the court makes pronouncements on seized goods, the service does not have the legal right to sample such goods for auctioning, and they are not in the position to dictate the duration it will take before the auction can take place. Atta also debunked the insinuation that the service is only auctioning vehicles and not containerized seizures, and claims to have auctioned containerized seizures in the past. He also called on the interested individuals to log on to the service website between Mondays and Wednesdays every week to participate in the process. And that's Maritime News. Maritime Update continues shortly. Stay with us.
Welcome to Port Support Services, otherwise called the PSSP. The PSSP, as it is popularly known, is an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council created to serve the public better. Just to help you navigate the portal, first log on to the website www.pssp.ng. There you'll find the basic information about PSSP, information on partners of the project standard operating procedure of the partners of the PSSP, and frequently asked questions, contact information. With the PSSP of the Nigerian Shippers Council, members of the public will be able to make complaints using the complaint form, track the status of the complaint, and make inquiries or give a feedback using the contact form. To submit a complaint, open your web browser and type www.pssp.ng. The home page will load. Click on the Make a Complaint. The login page will display, but you will need to be registered on the portal to be able to submit a complaint. If it's the first time of submitting a complaint, click on either the Register button or the Register link. To register, you will need to apply your email address, display name and password. After completing these fields, you should click on the Register button. If you have previously created an account, simply log in by supplying your email address and password. After you have successfully logged in, you should see the complaint form. The system assumes you are the main complainant. The complaint form has 5 sections: complaint details, service provider details, event or service description, other details, complaint description. In addition, you will find a yes and a no button, and this is how it works. Using the yes or no button indicates you are complaining on behalf of a company. If you're complaining on behalf of someone, you have to give us their details by clicking on the Add Detail button, then click on the Next button. From the pop-up list, select the type of company your complaint is about from the agency list and select the company from the companies list.
If you have just joined us, this is Maritime Update reaching you courtesy of the Nigerian Shippers Council. For details, reach the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or better still, text the number showing on your screen. Now to the guest of the week. He is Zebulon Ikokide, National President, Nigerian Institute of Freight Forwarding and Custom Brokers. In this chat, he affirmed that freight forwarders need adequate training to curb delay in clearance of goods at the nation's seaport and also ensure professionalism in discharging their duties. Stay with us. Tell us about the activities of the Institute of Freight Forwarders and Custom Brokers and how this has geared towards maritime development.
Well, the Institute of Freight Forwarders was actually formed to ensure that practitioners of freight forwarding in Nigeria are trained to their professional peak. That is the reason why the Institute was formed. And of course, we have been doing that even in our own small way. But due to funding, it has not been nice at all. One cannot say we have got to that level yet.
Okay, it's been alleged that the delay in clearance of goods at the nation's seaports has been attributed to the inadequate training of freight forwarders to be professionals in discharging their duties. What is your thought about that?
Yeah, I think I will also agree with that type of thought, in the sense that freight forwarders mostly, you know that in Nigeria they are called clearing and forwarding. And of course, it's only in Nigeria that you can hear people calling anybody who is a freight forwarder a clearing and forwarding agent. But when we came in, we started the campaign to ensure that these people are trained so that they know what freight forwarding is all about. But due to the paucity of funds, we cannot go ahead. We are very happy that there is an agency that is to take care of this. We are happy that this was put in place by the National Assembly. But as we are talking, nothing has actually come forward from there. And therefore, the training is still in limbo.
So what is your institute doing then about it? What steps have you taken to ensure that this funding is released so that you could actualize the reason why the institute was?
Well, we have done a lot by contacting the appropriate quarter, actually, and also getting the ministers informed about our problem in respect of funding, of training of the freight forwarding people. And of course, we have also informed the customs about this, that if they support the training of freight forwarders, then we will have a robust international trade, and people will be doing a lot of trying to declare good goods, so that instead of doing backyard work job, they will be doing the right thing. We have asked customs to support us, but of course nothing is coming forward. But we feel that government should actually do this through the agency that is in charge of freight forwarding.
Aside from waiting for this funding, what else have your institute done to curb people who are not professionals into the freight forwarding business? Because it's bringing about a bad name for freight forwarders. So what is being done to curb people who are not qualified or who are not professionals into the freight forwarding business?
Well, we have a law actually in respect of this, but of course it is also in government domain to actually implement these laws. Ours is to ensure that people have the knowledge of how to practice the profession. That is our job. And of course, we're trying to do that as best as we can, but there is no fund to do that. But what we have been doing actually is to ensure that, okay, there are seminars here and there that we do. And of course, we collaborate with some other institution of higher learning to train people. But when you ask people to come for training, that you should pay so much because, okay, you want to get facilitators to do this, and of course, you must give them some honorariums. But if the people do not pay, how do you do it?
Okay, looking at trade facilitation and business transaction, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, of course, and that is exactly what we have been doing, trying to see that trade facilitations is assisted in this country. And to do that, we need to research into what constitutes trade facilitation. And we need to research into that. And that is why some of us come together and we feel that we need to bring some people together to research into this. And of course, and that is why an association of maritime researchers was formed. And of course, we've been also talking to a lot of stakeholders now in respect of the Nigerian Port Authority, Nigerian Maritime Safety Agency, and Shippers Council. We'll be talking to them now. We're trying to introduce this into them so that they can support, so that we can research into this, so that people from the grassroots, they will start knowing what it takes to do international trade.
What steps do you think we should take or we should be taking now to ensure that these international best practices are what is experienced in our ports?
Well, one of the steps is for us to see that people have the knowledge of how to practice, especially free forwarding or shipping, actually.
That's where training still comes in.
Yes, and that is where trading comes in. Without this training, without people knowing, how would they be able to do anything? People will still be thinking that, this clearing and forwarding sort of story is what they will be doing. How do I carry a container from the port? And once you have, a customer, a custom officer, then I'll give him my bill of lading so that my container will come out. That is not all. You can sit down in your office and ensure that you clear a cargo from the port. That is how it is done outside.
So we should buy technology?
Technology is one of the best things you need to do. And of course, Nigeria is here to input this into their own policy, into the policy. Government policy must also include the technology, must also include technology imputation into Nigeria policy. And that is not yet done. And it has to be done. That is how we can see that things will be done in accordance to international standards.
Okay, looking at the development of maritime sector, do you think that federal government investment into the industry is meeting up with its challenges?
No, it is not. I just want to say that. No, it's not. I think the government need to go back to drawing board and see how they can actually assist the maritime industry. Because with the maritime industry, you can have a lot of employment generating areas. I was talking to somebody recently and I said, we need to bring back the idea of national carrier into this system. Because in the olden days, we call it olden days now, there's a long time ago, we have a national...
Because it's in the 80s or something?
Okay. We have national carrier, the national shipping line then. And of course, with the national shipping line, a lot of people were trained. If you can see any captain today, a maritime captain today, they are the people that are trained by this national shipping line.
You talked about the olden days as just using your words with so much enthusiasm. So at what point did we really miss it? And what are those things that we missed to make sure that we go back, just as we said, go back to the drawing board to get things right? This industry, I am passionate about the maritime industry because this industry must move forward. So what are those things that, where did we miss it? And how do we retrace our steps back?
Yeah, okay. Now we're saying that, the maritime industry lost the agenda when the military started coming into the politics of this country. That's when they lost the agenda. You can remember that some time ago, a military man was the managing director of National Shipping Line. And he went there, bastardized the place, and what do we have? Nothing. The Nigeria National Shipping Line was having 19 vessels, and of course, nobody knew how to buy a vessel. They bought the vessel the same day, the same time, were registered the same time, and when you have a vessels like that, you cannot send them for dry docking at the same time. And of course, if you are going to send them for dry dock, there must be dates for dry docking of vessels. And if you buy all the vessels at the same day, the same time, and what do you do? And they start selling them. Because you cannot use them again. You cannot use them. And you see, and that is why you need experts to assist you in doing this. So when the military start coming in, we miss the gap. And the only thing we can do now is to ensure that, yes, let us go back and bring out a national line that we focus on real shipping this time around with people that are knowledgeable in this area. Most of them are opening up their own office and getting things done the way they can do it. But today, if we now say, if government now say, yes, they want to invest into it, and let them invest, let us see that the national lines, the national shipping line comes on board again. And I tell you, a lot of things will happen.
This administration is very passionate about the diversification, because we need to move away from this overdependence on oil. So what strategies do you think, and one of those things we should be looking into now is export. So what strategies in your view do you think will boost exports to give it the industry the necessary competitive advantage?
Yeah, okay. Well, in exportation, in export, we have an agency that is also who is in charge of this exportation something. And of course, the agency is also the one that we say this type of cargo must be identified. These are the identified cargo that the agency is here and identify those cargo that are exportable, that can be exportable. All these things are there. But there should be an incentive for people to go into this. Okay. Yes. If there is none, for instance, if I want to export something and I want to take it to the port for exportation, and the customs start drilling me, and of course, you will find that the problem of exporting it is higher than the one to import. So sometimes you leave it and start to import. Okay. So our rules and regulation for export should be streamlined.
Okay.
Our policy should be such that we benefit exporters. That is what we should do. I think that agency should also try to ensure that they liberalize export policies that will enable people have interest in it.
That would be a fine place to end this chat. It's been Dr. Zebulon Ikokide, I hope I'm right.
Yes.
Then he is the national president of the Nigerian Institute of Freight Forwarders and Custom Brokers. Many thanks for coming on Maritime Update.
Thank you very much.
We said last week that we will make this program more interactive. Here are some of the several mails we received. Thank you for hosting this program and giving opportunity to have questions answered. Why is the custom duty so high? Why does it take so long to clear goods? Both of these discourage businesses and invariably affect the Nigerian economy. It would be good to understand or explain why so people, I think the president wants to write, so many people at least know what to expect when doing business that involves shipping in Nigeria. Mo from UK. Your questions are noted. We will see how to get the relevant personnel to come answer your questions on the program. The position of the ocean-going vessel is similar to the aircraft. If the coastal vessels are compared in the same perspective with the aircraft, our song is non-dimitis. We, the old generation of mariners, are looking for solutions. Nigeria cannot be a maritime nation with all human capabilities, expands coastal lines, that's 800 nautical miles, rich water habitat, clement water coverage, etc., and the sector being abandoned. That's from Captain Tony Olubode from Lagos. We must say a big thank you for sending the mails. We ask that you keep them coming. Send your comments, complaints, or observations to maritimeupdate@yahoo.com with your name and location. We implore you to keep them civil so we can read them. And that's our package on this week's edition of Maritime Update. Many thanks for being such a great company. Please remember to send your comments, complaints, and observation on our email or the number showing on your screen. This show promises to bring you yet another exciting package next week. For more details, you can contact the Nigerian Shippers Council on our website or text the number on your screen. You can also view this episode or any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Maritime Update. When you visit, please subscribe and also click the notification button. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Until I come your way again same time next week, it's goodbye.